back to the channel. Can you believe it? I'm not dead! Sort of. There's a lot of reasons I decided to take a massive break from this channel. Most of them were completely out of my control, and I do really want to start making videos again after this, but I don't really want to talk about all the reasons I've been gone because there's something more important happening, which is spooky season, which it is definitely still spooky season at the point that I am uploading this video, and it is totally not November, it is totally still October. Yay! For this year's October, I decided to participate in DRAWTOBER, which is one of those monthly art challenge things where you try and make a bunch of art during the month. And they had a bunch of really, really fun spooky prompts, and also all the prompts were weekly based instead of daily based, like something like DRAWTOBER, which means I could actually do them on my schedule instead of wasting all my time. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. I'm just gonna show my artwork, show the process, talk about some of the thoughts I had while creating them, all that normal stuff that you're used to seeing from me. If you don't want to hear about my ramblings, you can also check out the shorts playlist that just has all the art by itself and none of my stupid voice getting in the way. So, yeah, but if you do want to hear about my process, this is the video to do it. So, yeah, let's get started. Alright, first one up is Candlelit Messenger. I was very, very excited about spooky season when I drew this, so my main goal was kind of just make something really whimsical and magical and mysterious looking, and I think I succeeded. For basically every single one of these drawings, the prompt gave me like a little narrative in my head that I was kind of trying to follow. So the narrative for this one is obviously girl, human, mortal girl, goes and checks her window, and there's this mysterious princely fey crow boy there, and she's handing her an invitation to, like, I imagine a party or something, like some sort of Halloween party, and I don't know, will she take it? I don't know, but I really wanted to obviously focus on the lighting with the candle and everything and make it look very dark and mysterious outside. I used a lot of textured brushes for that. I just got Clip Studio Paint, so I've been playing around with all of the new options. I think I used like a cross-hatching brush or something, lots of texture work, and I decided to keep the background kind of blurry with the pencil tool I was using because I thought that it would look nice. I also wanted to give a really good sense of motion with the girl's hair and her dress billowing up and the fire itself and the very, very subtle smoke. I just really wanted it to look like there might have been like strong winds or something. And I really, really like the colors that I chose. I'm always a big fan of purple and orange together, even when it's not spooky season, mixed with a little bit of pink. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this one turned out. I spent a lot of time on it, but I think it was worth it. I also really, really like the composition and everything. I think everything's framed nicely, and I really like how it turned out. I think it turned out really, really cute and really, really pretty. So yeah. The last one was a lot of work for me to make, so I decided to go pretty easy on myself for this one and trying to just make something cute and simple. Toad Astrologer was a really weird prompt to me, and I really didn't know what to do at first, but my friends challenged me to make like a literal toad instead of just a cute furry or girl or something, since a lot of the time when I draw things I tend to anthropomorphize the characters that I make. But I do really, really like toads and frogs, so I was okay with this, and I do know how to draw them, so yeah, it worked out. Funnily enough, he actually reminds me a lot of the little clay frog pins I make, which I thought was cute. The idea was that he doesn't know human constellations, but when he looks into the sky, he sees his own constellations based on the things he loves in his life. So there's little tadpoles and lily pads and dragonflies and all the sorts of things that he would see in his swamp on a regular basis. And he himself is also supposed to be star-themed. His little toad freckle bump things are little stars, his eyes are starry, and there's even a big star on his tummy, and he's also purple and blue to kind of give that galaxy coloration to him. Once again, very much a focus on colors and lighting. I wanted to give off this serene, swampy vibe, I guess. Just really make it look peaceful and chill and pretty. And this one is a lot more simple than the last one, like I said, but I still really liked how it turned out. I tried something new, and I'm happy with it. I think it's very cute and very silly, and I hope other people like it too. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this one. Next prompt up was Mushroom Fairy. And my first thought for this piece, and what was probably also a lot of your guys' first thought, was obviously a very cutesy, silly mushroom fairy. But I have drawn a lot of cutesy, silly mushroom girls, so I really wanted to take advantage of the fact that this is a Halloween challenge and do something more spooky looking. So this is a zombie mushroom fairy, ooh, inspired by those parasite mushrooms that infect bugs and plants and things. And this was kind of a challenge for myself for just how much gross body horror I could personally handle, since I usually don't draw stuff like this at all, and I usually just kind of stay away from it. But it's also spooky time, so I thought I'd at least try, even though my art style is already pretty cutesy. This is a little bit inspired by an artist named Feeful that I follow various places. Their art is mostly very pretty and whimsical, but at some point they got really fascinated with, like, gross mushrooms and eventually mold and stuff, and I was just really inspired by the fact that they were able to take their cutesy, pretty art style and make something pretty gross but still pretty with it, and I was kind of trying to channel that and use that as an inspiration for this piece. I also decided to model her wings off of dragonfly wings, so I guess that's the kind of fairy she was before she got infected. It's also hard to see, but I did give her compound eyes as well, so on top of being a infected fairy, she's also kind of buggy too, in a way that fairies usually aren't. Overall, I wanted this entire drawing to have this gross, sickly, swampy feeling to it. The last drawing had a swamp too, but it was a lot more serene and pretty and gentle. This time I really wanted it to feel like gross and radioactive and slimy and stuff. And with that in mind, I struggled a lot with the colors. I didn't know if I wanted them to be brighter and more radioactive feeling, or if I wanted them to feel more dull and natural. And I think that I kind of struck a good balance here. It doesn't feel too bright, like it doesn't feel like it's super in your face, but it also doesn't feel so super duper dull and boring either, so yeah, I'm happy with that. Even though this is much more unsettling than what I usually do, I am happy with it. I think I did a good job of trying to catch that horror feel, and I hope other people like it too, even though it's a lot different from what I usually make. So yeah. Next prompt up was Spellbound Princess, which is probably one of the more vague prompts. This could really go in a lot of different directions, and at first upon hearing this prompt I immediately thought about vampires, because I love vampires and I love drawing vampires. But also, I feel like I focus on cute vampires girls a lot in my artwork, and just like the zombie mushroom fairy, I wanted to try and go out of my comfort zone a little bit. And my girlfriend is obsessed with werewolves, so she suggested werewolf, and I kind of ran with that. So this one is a lot more experimental than what I usually do in my art, with a lot less focus on the character themselves and more so with the surroundings, trying to get some environmental storytelling in there. And I've never been the best at drawing backgrounds, but I will never get better if I don't practice, so I'm practicing. I know it might not seem like it, but I've also been incredibly mentally ill this October, and I am most of the time, actually, but it's been bad this fall. So this drawing is kind of an extension of that a little bit. I usually don't draw stuff with very strong negative emotions at all, but I've been felt very off balance and aggressive and violent when I don't really want to, so I'm projecting all of that onto this poor werewolf girl. Once again, I am practicing lighting. Strong lighting is a pretty big part of this. I wanted the moon to seem very harsh and intense, and I wanted it to be a blood moon because I thought it would be cool, so I wanted the light coming from the moon to look like a big blood splatter. I don't really know how well I managed that one, but it still looks cool, so whatever. And even though this was very much outside of my comfort zone, I think I handled it pretty well. There's always going to be things I could have done better if I took more time to do it, or if I practiced more, or whatever. If I was just in a completely different part of my art journey than I am right now, but I'm not. And I decided to try and do it anyway, and this is how it turned out. So I'm not upset at it. I think it looks pretty good, and I'm happy with it. And I think that I definitely got the emotions down and all of that kind of good stuff. So yeah, that's that one. I'm still happy with it, even though it's not perfect. And I hope other people like it too. We're almost to the end. This one is Troll Toll, and when I first read this prompt, I really didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't know if I was gonna like it. But this is actually one of my favorites out of everything I've drawn this month, so it ended up working out. After the last two that were very, very spooky scary, I kind of just wanted to draw something cozy and autumn feeling again. And the idea here is that there is some little trolls watching over this bridge, which crosses over to the Feyland, and they expect payment in order for humans to cross. But this human is a bard, so they're paying through song instead of with coins or their soul or whatever, I guess. Every time I draw trolls, I'm more so thinking of just like troll dolls more than actually scary trolls. In my mind, trolls are just short little creatures with silly fluffy hair and big elf ears. I don't really know how to draw them scary or grotesque or anything like that, so yeah, I decided to just embrace that, I guess. And these specific trolls are also supposed to be like cute little nature elementals, so I thought it would be nice to make one of them have leafy hair and one of them have little pumpkin buns. Originally, the girl who's all pumpkin themed was gonna have orange hydrangeas instead, but I haven't gotten to draw any pumpkins this month, so I decided last minute that she gets to be pumpkin themed. I think she's super duper cute though. And I think this entire piece is really, really cute. I'm really, really happy with it, actually. The background is really, really fun and calming to do. I liked being able to design the bridge and stuff, and kind of design some world building, I guess. And I really like the colors. I think that the green adds a good pop to all of the auburn and orange and yellow and all that. And I even got to draw the Feylands across the bridge, so you can see where the bard is trying to enter, so yeah, overall, I'm really, really happy with it. I think it's super duper cute, probably the cutest thing I've drawn this month. I hope other people like it too. I hope it gives that comfy feeling that I was going for. Finally! The big bad, the biggest drawing I did this month at the very, very end, the whole reason that this video is late, the whole reason for everything, this stupid drawing. It's okay, it turned out pretty good actually. But the last prompt was Enchanted Masquerade, and I really, really wanted to make sure I got this one right because I was excited for this prompt all month, and I really, really wanted to do something magical and whimsical and perfect for the spooky season, so I put a lot of time and effort into it, and it fought me the entire time. I started recording pretty late on this one because I spent a lot of time just brainstorming and messing with the composition and the colors and everything, and it took so long, it took forever, but I am happy with it, so it's okay. I was really trying to balance having a very deeply atmospheric scene while also getting to focus on some fun character designs, because obviously if I'm going to be drawing a masquerade party, I want to be able to show off everybody's masquerade costumes. There's a couple different costumes. I really fell in love with this spider girl that I brainstormed near the beginning, so I made sure to keep her in the front so everyone could see her in all of her beautiful glory. There's also a kind of like Baphomet-inspired burlesque goat woman she's talking to. And then further in the background there is a bat-themed vampire, a pumpkin princess, and a death heads moth fairy girl. So I definitely had some fun concepts and ideas for this one and everybody's costumes, and I really wanted to make sure that those were noticeable, even though that there's this giant party going on and it's obviously very chaotic and cluttered and stuff. I also decided to make unique glass-stained window designs all the way in the back. You can't see all of them super duper clearly, but one of them has a bat on them. The one in the very, very middle is all pumpkin themed. I think one is like a witch or something. I really just wanted to make it seem obviously very magical and very fancy and very elegant and all that kind of stuff. I also put a little bit of thought into the character designs in the very, very back, like the shadow people. There's two conjoined twin girls running around having a fun time. There's a Cheshire cat looking person, a jester, and also You may notice two very familiar looking silhouettes back there too, if you remember the two characters from the beginning of the video in the first drawing. So I guess they made it to their Halloween party and they're having a good time together. And once again, a lot of this, so much lighting, so many layers of just different blending modes and stuff to get this to look right. I really wanted each character to have their own distinct color palette, but I also wanted to make sure that all of them looked cohesive together, and lighting is a massive part of that for me, so I really tried to just really go ham with, like I said, different blending modes, different layers, different filters, all that, to try and make this all cohesive and look nice together. I did have to kind of rush this one a little bit because I was trying to get it done by the end of spooky season, and I didn't even get it done by the end of spooky season. I got it done a couple days later, but that's okay. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks just as whimsical and magical and beautiful as I wanted it to. And yeah, I think it's a really strong end to a very good spooky season. So yeah. And it's all done! I got through all 6 prompts of the DRAWTOBER 2025 drawing challenge. I think this is actually the first time I've completely gotten through a drawing challenge like this since I was like 10 or 11 doing Inktober and stuff. So I'm super duper happy with everything I got to make. It was super duper fun. If you like drawing challenges like this, I highly encourage you to check it out. It was wonderful. And if you want to support me in other ways than just watching my videos, my commissions are open right now, and all money is saved for my future and the future of my partners and all that kind of good stuff. So if you guys want your characters or your OCs or whoever in my art style, or if you want to own a piece of my art, then this is the time to do it. Please support me. But of course, I always appreciate people watching my videos. Thank you for enjoying my content and all that good stuff. And if you had a spectacular Halloween, feel free to tell me about it in the comments. I would love to hear about what everyone got up to this spooky season. So yeah, thank you again for watching. I always appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!